Do we really create our own reality, or are we just victim to our reality? In this video, we're going to talk about, and I'm going to give you actually 5 of the foundations for reality creation, basically 5 of the laws that you should abide by in order to do this. So sit tight, we'll get into it right now. Welcome back to another video. I'm Palko. We're going to talk about creating your own reality today and why so many people remain stuck in the same place, or they feel like they can't really create their own reality. They get the concept of it. They understand that this is like a thing these days. There's a lot of articles, there's a lot of videos out there on choosing and creating your reality. Yet somehow we still remain stuck in the same place, or remain in this viewpoint that we can't escape where we are currently. So I'm going to give you 5 laws that you can abide by, or 5 of the foundations to creating your own reality and actually having it work for you. So just like with weight loss or finding a house or finding your soulmate, we know there's a multitude of methods to getting there. So the same thing goes with reality creation. But a lot of times we don't want to put effort into it, or we don't know how to actually go about doing it, or we find ourselves doing it the wrong way, and we never get the results that we're seeking. Okay, so foundation number 1, what you see is what you get. Notice I put the emphasis on the word you. So what you see internally in your mind, those innermost thoughts and beliefs, is what is going to appear to you eventually in your physical world, what you see with your physical senses. The truth is, a lot of us see the opposite of what we want to see or expect to see. And that's usually because we're coming from a place of lack or a place of void. And a lot of times we don't even notice that we're doing it. So when we are trying to create our reality, and we're always coming from a place of, well, I want this, I desire this, I don't like where I am right now, then what we're saying to ourselves basically internally is that we're lacking something. Therefore, what we are projecting out is this lack, is this void, is this negative vibration. And what comes back to us in the mirror is the same thing. Okay, is going to be nothing. We're going to come up empty-handed, or we're going to see the opposite of what we expect to see, because we aren't aware of what we're projecting outward to the world. So I'll get a little law of attraction-y on you here. And we know like attracts like, so we're almost like a magnet. We are like a magnet pretty much. So anything we put out there, our vibrations, our frequencies that we are projecting outward, are going to attract like frequencies, things that resonate with us. So when we are coming from a place of lack or void, and we're saying, I don't have this, or I need this, or I want this, we're desiring something because we don't already have it, right? So whenever we're desiring something, it's coming from a place of lack. We don't have it. Then it is this more of a negative vibration that we are sending out into the universe, into the cosmos, and what comes back is the opposite of usually what we expect. When we're desiring something, we expect that thing we desire to come into our life. But in essence, when we're desiring something, what we're actually saying to the universe at large is, I don't have this, so give me more of what I don't have. And that's what we get. So you got to realize that your internal thoughts and beliefs are what is manifest to you physically, or what will manifest in your reality eventually. Number 2, the second foundational rule for creating reality is we cannot change the current frame that we are in, but we can choose, or we can change our future frame. So what I mean by that is that what we see, what we're experiencing right now with our senses, is already manifest. It's already in our physical world. It's done already. So we can't change it, in a sense. It's like trying to change a movie that is already filming on the projector. We have no control over it. But what we do have control is over the future frames, the future slides, okay? What goes on next, the next moment, the next minute, the next 2 minutes, the next 10 minutes, the next 15 minutes. We can decide internally how we want to experience that. And so what our brain does, our senses, we experience things through our senses, our 5 senses, right? So what that does, it sends a signal to the brain, and what the brain then does is interpret what we've experienced with our senses. So basically, we get an edited version of what we are conscious of, and that's where awareness goes. Because if our brain were to we experience so many things with our senses on a subconscious level, just in our day-to-day. If our brain took everything at face value and it made everything important that we experienced, we would go crazy. We would not be able to focus. We would not be able to function. So, by the time our brain processes it, our interpretation, our perception of it is this edited version of our reality, because it basically filters and chooses certain things that make it possible for us to make sound decisions in life and to function in life. And it doesn't just take every little thing we experience on a subconscious level, because our brains would probably explode if we did that. So we get the edited version. So you have to understand that our reality is just our perception of reality. So it's the signals we get from our 5 senses, where our brains interpret it, and that is our perception of reality. So our perception of reality is going to be very different from somebody else's, or from our dogs or our cats, or from our neighbor next door. Number 3, believing is seeing, but seeing or not seeing is not necessarily believing. So if you can think of like a magician, or if you've ever seen an illusionist or some sort of illusion where a magician pulls something out of midair, or somebody's levitating off the ground, what our eyes see, what our senses see is, oh my God, like this person is doing the unimaginable, something unreal. And we kind of believe it's real, like we know it's not real, but we kind of believe it's real, but still on a subconscious level, we know it's like a magic trick type thing. But what our brain is interpreting because of what we're experiencing through our eyes, through our senses, what we're seeing is this person levitating, or this person pulling something out of midair. And it's very difficult for us to comprehend that it's not real. So in a sense, that's the same with reality. We believe things because we see them. We experience them with our senses. So anything in the unknown, or anything that we cannot see right now, we have difficult time believing. And this is where a lot of people get hung up with creating reality, because a lot of people will set a goal for themselves, or set some sort of something they want in their life, something they want to create in their reality. And they give it a little bit of time, but maybe it's like 2 days later, 2 months later, 2 years later, they don't see it coming into their reality. They give up. They give up because they think, okay, it doesn't work, it's not happening. But you have to understand, and this leads me to number 4, reality does not respond to the same method, does not respond to linear thinking, does not respond to time. Reality does not have the concept of time like we do. Our brains, we think that time is absolute. We have this Newton type of thinking that time is absolute, it's set, it's fixed, that's it. So we think that when we're creating reality, that it has to respond to our time frame. And when we don't see it responding to our time frame, what we've set for it, then we think it doesn't work, or we give up. And we say, this is crap. I'm not going to do this anymore. It's No, it doesn't make sense. So you have to expand your thinking a little bit and realize that time is not absolute, okay? Time is, it's a concept we've created, Einstein, the theory of relativity, that time is relative. Look that up. And time is calculated by, it's not this fixed absolute thing. Einstein found that space-time bends or distorts depending on where you are in the universe, or the Earth's rotational pull, or gravity, the mass of an object, all these types of things. So reality has no concept of our perception of time, and it has no concept of our impatience with time. So it doesn't care that you've been waiting 2 years. If you really believe that something will happen, it will come to fruition. But see, so the fifth foundational rule for creating your own reality is that you have been creating your reality all along, whether you know it or not, and you should just drop the importance on it altogether. So reality creation is not some metaphysical, spiritual thing, and we know the secret is no secret because we've been doing it all along. We're just not aware of it, we're not conscious of it half the time. So by dropping it all together, what I mean is to stop trying to create something. Stop trying to create and start living in it instead. So if you're always coming from the place of, I need to create this. See, most people who look into reality creation or even law of attraction type stuff, they're always trying to escape something from their current life. And what this is again saying is that I'm lacking something or I don't have something. So instead of always trying to create or desiring something in your life, desiring something new, you have to start being in the vibration of already having it. And this is where a lot of people have trouble, because it's difficult to live in the vibration of having money if you don't have money, or being successful if you feel like you're not successful. So it is trying to untangle that web of subconscious beliefs that you've held for a very, very long time, since a very young age. And it's recognizing any kind of limiting beliefs you have about yourself. So we've been trained since babies to think and act a certain way and to view reality as a certain way. So anything outside of our scope, of our limited amount of thinking, because of what we know, is very difficult for us. So it's hard for us to comprehend that there's another way around this, or another way of living, or actually way of choosing the reality that we want to live in. So to start doing that, you have to live in the vibration of it. You have to start feeling and acting and being as that person already. Because when you're feeling, acting, and being as that person who has whatever that thing that you want or how you want to feel, then you are telling the universe at large that I already have this. Like, I'm good. And what is reflected back is more of that. See, when you're coming from a place of lack and void and you're saying, I want, I don't already have, it's what you're projecting out, then what you get back is more lack and void and stuff you don't want. But when you're already living in it, you're already feeling that way. You're conjuring up the emotions and the feelings as if you were that person. I'm not saying fake it till you make it, because when you're faking it, you don't truly, when you're faking something on a conscious level, you are faking it, you are that person, but on a subconscious level, you are not that person. You don't believe that you are that person. But if you can get to a point where you actually believe that you are that person already, that you can actually feel inside, feel those emotions. And it doesn't have to be, you can start with something like feeling grateful, or just feeling more joy and love and happy. So it's not like if you wanted money, you can't don't feel like you have money. If you don't have money, it's very difficult to picture yourself actually having money. So instead, you have to concentrate on the feelings of being abundant in your life, which would be, like freedom, stability, just feeling grateful about life as a whole, because money is just paper. It's a symbol, right? So you have to get to those underlying feelings of what the bigger thing is that you're feeling. And what that does, you're going to be up on the vibrational scale. You're sending that out, and more of that is coming back to you. Good stuff is coming back to you. So you have to live in it, to believe in it before you see it. So a lot of people get in the mindset of they're waiting for it to happen. They're waiting for this to manifest in their life. See, I don't like the word manifest because it just implies like you don't have it. I don't love the word create either because it implies you don't have it. Instead, I like the word choose. You're choosing. So you have to stop waiting and instead feel like it's at your fingertips. It's right there at your fingertips. You can taste it. You can feel it. And that's what you have to do. I mean, it can be difficult because you're basically untraining yourself, or you're learning a new method for yourself. A way to get around that or make it easier for yourself, my suggestion would be to start reading more books on like spirituality, physics, quantum physics, astrophysics, neuroscience. All this stuff will expand your thinking a little bit to make it a little bit easier for your brain to comprehend that this is possible, that it is possible to choose your reality. See, when you don't expand your consciousness, you don't expand your thinking on this stuff, then it's going to be very hard to believe it because it's still like way in the unknown. But the more you study up on things like physics or neuroscience, the more you read about it and the more knowledge seeps into your brain, and the more you make it believable for yourself, which is going to make it more believable for your subconscious, which is going to make it easier for you to accept that it is possible for you, and make it easier for that to actually come into your life. So those are the 5 foundations for reality creation, or choosing your reality, as I like to say. And I hope they're helpful for you because, reality creation, it's like, it goes along with like law of attraction these days where everybody is into it because everybody's trying to escape something in their life. They want more money, or they want a girlfriend or boyfriend, or they want this and that. But you can't come at it from that angle. You have to come at it from a different angle, from a different perspective on it. And that's why I say study up, read about it, get more knowledge about it, and understand it better, because the more you understand what you're doing, the more successful it is for you. And the more you understand that it's not about attaining something from the outside of you, it's about becoming something. And becoming something attracts more of it to you. So I hope this was helpful, guys. If you have not done so, please subscribe below to my channel. I put out a video every single morning. And other than that, I hope you all have an awesome day. Peace.